This week, Scott Garland and I take our kids to Disney for a new series we're calling Moms versus Dads. Coming up next, from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Diz Unplugged. This is the Diz Unplugged, episode 722 for the week of July 8th, 2014. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. Visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Coming to you live from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, JeniLynn, Knopp, sitting in for Pete Werner. And I'm joined at the table this week by my good friends Sean Michael, Kathy Whirling, Scott Garland, and Corey Martin. And back in the production nook, our associate producers, Craig Williams and Sean Thompson. All right. I was a little remiss in the last show and overlooked a very important rapid fire, so we're going to pick that up right now and throw it over to Scott.
Yes, thanks. Thanks for cutting me off. Not a big deal. Mine was the Hearts of Reality Summer Sidewalk Sale 2014 at Celebration. It's to raise money for Give Kids a World, July 31st through August 3rd. And it's basically, I was counting them up, I think there are close to 100 reality stars from Big Brother, Survivor, The Bachelor, The Amazing Race, and then there's also some other TV personalities I know there's a guy from Ghost Hunters, from TNA Wrestling, myself, I'm doing it, Sal Calval, formerly from TNA. And it's just over the 3 or 4 days, it's a bunch of different events, autograph signings, parties. I know we do a day at Gatorland, so it's a pretty cool weekend. So I'm looking forward to doing it.
Gatorland too.
Yeah. So they said we're doing the zip lining and alligator wrestling.
Oh,
so
good luck.
I'm pretty sure I could take that gator. He's taped up. I'm not sure.
I don't know about some of these other realities.
Hopefully they can't.
Actually, I remember a lot of those reality show people I really hated, so I don't know if I really want to go. Remember, there's always that one contestant that you're just like,
or several,
several that you're just like, I really hope you don't win. And so if they're there, that's not really gonna.
Sometimes you hate something so much you love it, so you should go. It's for a good cause.
Like Simon Cowell or something like that.
Right.
Plus, who wants to miss Scotty wrestling an alligator?
Oh,
right.
I hate it.
Right. So it should be cool. So it's July 31st through August, 3rd? So, yeah, August 3rd. So
that's great.
And
I've
I know
never been, but I do like reality TV.
Yeah,
like Big Brother. I watch Big Brother, Survivor.
It's I was just counting up the people, and there were literally almost 100 reality stars coming to Orlando. And from what I understand, they pretty much, most of them buy their own way here, pay for their own way here, and then they're put up here. So it's pretty cool that they all get involved in this. It's not the first year they've done it. I know they've done it quite a few years before.
Yeah, they
have. It should be fun. So
good cause too.
Yeah, sure.
All right, great. All right, so our segment for this week is going to be a first in a series that we're doing, Men versus Women or Moms versus Dads. And the reason for that is because we're acknowledging that the different genders connect with their vacations in different ways. So we're going to open up a discussion about that, and hopefully from this we'll be able to understand the other gender's perspective a bit better. So Scott and I actually a couple weeks ago took our kids to downtown Disney. We decided that would be a really great way to start off the segment because downtown Disney is that
that's appropriate for the segment, I feel like, in this thunderstorm.
Describe the day a little bit. No. Anyway, downtown Disney can be actually kind of a gender issue, I think, because of the word shopping. So we decided to hit that one first off. And the first thing we had to figure out was the parking situation, right?
Yeah, and I want to just say, starting out, Pete had asked us to do this, and I, for the first time since my kids have been born, they're 9 and 12, have let their Disney passes go they've always had since they were born, and it had gotten to the point where I'd pick them up at school and I'd say, you guys want to go to the Magic Kingdom or do you want to go to the playground? And they'd say, no, we want to go to the playground. So I let them go, and I still have my ticket, and I got them Universal tickets this year. But so we decided to do something outside of the parks, and that's how we came upon Downtown Disney. But just that's one of the things of living here. You know, everybody talks about, oh, what's it like to live there? You get jaded, you get spoiled, and they don't appreciate what they have. I try to tell them all the time, look, people save for years to come here. And
yeah, you're right. Because everybody says they'll move here. They go to the parks every day, and a lot of people do.
Yeah, and you do.
You know, for us, we have to, spread it out a little bit.
Right.
To keep it
Especially
alive.
with the kids. My kids are at that point too, where it's, oh, we're going to go to Disney today. Oh, can we just stay home and play video games? And it's terrible. I do the same thing. I'm like, you don't understand that children don't get to go to Disney World every day.
Right. So I try to explain that to them. But so I'm just giving them a break, and we did the Universal for a little bit, and then maybe in the fall I'll renew their tickets. But that's how this whole thing came about.
I'll say that kind of happened to me actually about a year ago. My mom offered me to go to the new California, the Cars Land at California Adventure. And for some reason, this is before I decided to come down here. I was still back up in Georgia, and I said no. I declined. She said that she would take me there. I was like, you know what? I'm just not feeling it. So, there is going to be a period or a time where it's just like you're not interested. You don't really want to. I don't know what kind of phase you would call that. That was a phase, but now I'm back in, of course.
Yeah,
Can't
you
hold
always
me
come
back.
back around. Always come back around.
Oh, yeah.
Before you get a little too far into this, I just want to let everyone know that we are about to have terrible storms coming into the area, and if we have to shut down or we lose power or stuff, that's going to be the reason why. But just wanted to throw that out there.
All right.
It's loud. I'm sure people can hear it. Yeah.
All the disclaimers have been made at this point, so we will proceed. All right, so parking was the first thing that we had to do with Downtown Disney being the way that it is. It's quite a mess, and Scott actually suggested, as Kathy mentioned earlier, that we don't park there, that we actually go to a resort, park at the resort, and then use Disney transportation. That ended up actually being a really good call.
Yeah, and I think, for us, like I always drive, doing this thing on the Downtown Disney together, I always park there. And so I know what the parking is like right now. It's a mess, like we talked about. But so I thought it'd be cool to get a perspective of going from the resort to the down. And it saved us a ton of time anyways, and frustration.
It
What
did.
resort did you choose?
Port Orleans Riverside,
okay.
which was beautiful. They've done a lot of changes to that since the last time I was there. So it was gorgeous. Yeah, we did do that for, a lot of times people will be staying at the resort, so they are going to be using Disney transportation anyways. It was so much easier that way. Normally, I never recommend taking Disney transportation. If you have your own vehicle, I usually always subscribe to just take your own vehicle there because the Disney transportation system can be laborious and slow, or you can just get to places more efficiently with your own vehicle. But that is not the case with Downtown Disney presently. And the kids really loved it.
Y'all kids are old. Like your kids are older, so I think from us, like that would be an extra step for us because ours are 4 and 5.
Right.
So we're dealing with strollers. So having to lug those up and pack those and put those on a bus, we have to almost skip every step. Even the trams become too much.
Right.
That we'll just walk it.
Yeah, that's how we were when the kids were younger too.
Yeah. It's
Well,
nice to have that non-stroller.
Yeah,
time.
I guess that's a valid point. But the way that we did it we took a bus over because the weather, we weren't able to take a boat at the time. We ended up taking a boat back.
Right.
But it was great. It was almost like an extra little ride. The kids were, having a good time on the bus on the way over. The timing was good.
and the boat on the way back. It's just something different to do, I think.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a different experience,
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I thought that you made a good call. He was the one who decided to do that. I was little.
Of course I did. I'm the dad.
That's right. Dad knows best, I guess. Also, there was the time of arrival. We had to figure that out. We had a little bit of a difference of opinion initially. I think we were going to try. What was the time we were going to try to get there at?
2.
No,
I think
we
we said
ended up
2.
getting there at
1.
2.
1:30.
See, we were gonna get there
One-ish.
earlier. He kind of pushed it back.
Get to the hotel at that time?
No, get to downtown Disney.
Okay.
Like, what's a good time to get to downtown Disney?
All right.
We've got, you got the stuff that you do in the afternoon, and it's different than the stuff that you do during the evening. We wanted to be there for both to get
Be able to see both.
Right.
'Cause it's definitely two different animals, I think, from daytime to nighttime.
Especially
you know?
now,
Right.
since there's like more entertainment
Right.
happening.
Yeah, you don't see that during the daytime. Right.
No.
So it's,
Yeah, I wanted to initially get there earlier because I'm just, the planning. We have the agenda, A, B, C, D, and E that we're going to try to do today. He made the call of pushing it back a little bit further.
My plans usually go around my stomach. Am I going for lunch? Am I going for early evening snack? Evening snack.
Yeah. Well, so what was your thought on getting there later?
oh, it was fine. Yeah, no, it was good. I don't think I think it worked out perfect. Because that way we were able to be there for the daytime and then for the nighttime. So.
Yeah, and I after we had been there a whole day, I realized at the end, if we had been there any longer, it would have just been too much because everyone was tired, a little bit cranky by the end, ran out of things to do. I think.
Yeah, no, I don't think we ran out of things to do. I think it's just if you're going to try and do everything at downtown Disney, it's almost like going to the Magic Kingdom and saying I'm going to do everything on my first trip. It's almost impossible to do everything down there. It's between the bowling and the movie theater and the balloon and all the entertainment. And then of course you have to spend about 4 hours in Starbucks. So now there's 2 of them. That's 8 hours.
I think the kids had the most fun in that Starbucks with that interactive.
Yeah, it's really
screen.
cool. It's real. I'm really excited to see the final outcome of the new downtown Disney and Disney Springs, right? So I think it's going to be a lot closer to what we see out in California, and it's a little bit more. I don't know. I don't want to use the word touristy, but if you guys know what I mean, it's just more than
like the one at in Disneyland is like a lot of locals come.
That's
out
what
there.
it is. Yeah, and I think that's what this could be.
And I think it will
maybe
be.
that's
I
what they're
think
going
when
for.
you combine the parking structure with everything they're doing, the expansion of the roads, I think it's going to attract more locals.
Yeah, I think so.
To come in.
I think so. I think maybe that's what City Walk has become too. Also, it's the same thing. Where a lot of it's a cool place for the locals to go hang out and have dinner and see a movie. So I think it's going to be cool.
Well, do you think that getting there earlier then, with all of the things to do, would have been a good plan? I
No,
just
I
feel
don't
like
think
it would have
so.
been too much.
No, I mean with 4 kids, 5 kids. How many kids do you have now?
14.
It's a lot. With 5 kids, that's a lot. I mean, we were there from 2 to.
Oh, wasn't it? Was it midnight?
Yeah, so that's
Wow.
no, it wasn't that late, was it?
I think it was because we were waiting for the balloon.
You're such a wife. But that's a long time. So I think
That is a
we
long
still,
time,
we had,
especially with everything that's going
We
on
had
over
plenty
there.
of time for sure.
It definitely was. Like I said, I initially thought that we should have gotten there earlier, but at the end of the day, looking back on it, it really just would have been too much. And we didn't do everything because that would have been
Right.
a fortune
Right.
to pay for all of that.
Right.
But even with what we did, it was exhausting. It was really, really exhausting.
We pretty much ate right when we got there too. So
We did. Yeah, we got there. And again, we kind of had a little bit of a difference of opinion of what we should do right away. I thought, well, we're getting a late start. This is my neurotic Disney mom coming in. We're getting a late start. Let's, just jump right in, catch up on lost time, shop, or whatever we're supposed to do. The kids wanted to eat. They wanted to eat first. And so then I was like, oh, okay, well, then asked Scott what he wanted to do. And he said, I agree with the kids. Let's eat. So we went to Rainforest Cafe.
Ooh.
And
Did you have a reservation beforehand, or
we didn't, and we
didn't.
walked right in, literally.
Oh wow!
Nice.
yeah, another good call on everyone else's part. Apparently, I just
Safari
would
party
have.
of 7.
Yeah, I would have just made a really bad decisions all day long. So it was really good we didn't do anything that I wanted to do.
I think that was part of the, my thinking was I know it's going to get busier the later we're here, so let's try and do this. And I was right. Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. He was right. No,
Wish
we
I
did.
could reach my back.
Yeah, we went to Rainforest Cafe. We got right in because it was an in-between time. Also, it was good. The kids were really hungry. And it was really enjoyable. I thought one of the best parts of the day. I know that there's been many discussions about Rainforest Cafe and the T-Rex restaurants, and maybe those aren't the most enjoyable places to eat. But we had a great time. It wasn't actually that loud.
It was a little loud, but I think Rainforest and T-Rex and those places. We talked earlier about the getting your Disney fix when you don't live here. And when I lived in Maine, I can remember driving down to Massachusetts to go to Rainforest just to kind of get that Disney fix. So
Right.
it is what it is. I mean, yeah, it's loud, it's really expensive, and but it's
It's
little
not a place
piece-
you go like for a date.
No,
I mean,
no.
you have kids, you have
it's not?
I mean,
Cancel my plans. Sorry.
sorry, Julie, 10-year anniversary. That's where we're going.
Well, I mean, but when I say it's not loud, it was relatively so. Like normally it is just,
Overbearing.
ringing in your head, but there
Right.
wasn't that many people there.
Right.
So we were actually able to have a conversation. Normally you can't even talk over the noise because it's so loud.
Right, and we had a good table that was kind of out of the way too, so it wasn't quite so busy. Because that's when that place is jamming, it's crazy.
The
Yeah.
apes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We were next to the elephants.
Yeah, so it
Say-
wasn't bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember sitting there one time with my friends, and I could not eat because this monkey is just staring at me. It was the creepiest thing. Elephant's cute. Why not? I'll take the elephant, but that monkey just stared at me. I don't like that.
And the only thing with those restaurants is like every time I leave, either T-Rex or Rainforest, I just feel like I've been had.
Yeah.
It's just so expensive for what it is, and I know you're paying for the experience, but it's.
Yeah, but what was
Yeah,
it like?
just-
It was like $9 chicken nuggets or
Yeah,
something.
And they're just frozen in the
Right,
back.
right. So it's, but if you're on vacation, it's a different ballgame than it is when you live here.
But
So
it's another one of those things, because I took my grandson to T-Rex a couple weeks ago, and just the look on his face, I completely forgot about how
Right,
noisy
right,
it was and how
right.
expensive it was, because he was just so fascinated looking at all the things come to life. So sometimes it's like you have to put up with that to see the look on your kid's
Right,
face.
and that's what
Yeah.
like I said, that's what you're really paying for. It's not just the food, you're paying for the
Yeah.
experience in those restaurants. So I'm just a tightwad. So
Yeah, oh, yeah.
But it ended up being a really good choice because we have the kids. If we hadn't had the kids, I would say maybe not so much. But they loved it. We all had a great time. And then, aside from the price of the meal, after it was done, like the kids just got up and they wanted to look around in the gift store for a while. So that was kind of fun entertainment for them. We just kind of sat and talked, which, again, because it wasn't like obnoxiously loud, we were able to do that. And I felt like it was a really good way to start the day.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. At Downtown Disney with kids, I don't even think that T-Rex or the Rainforest are your two best options, especially if you're here on vacation. I'm trying to think what else is down there, but you have Earl of Sandwich and
Yeah, it really depends on
They have
also the
the
age of your
Wolfgang
kids.
Puck.
too.
right.
Yeah,
right.
Wolfgang
It's-
Puck isn't very kid oriented.
There's not a lot of, there's not a.
They do have mac and cheese, and they have pretty good mac and cheese.
I'm talking
That's all-
atmosphere.
Okay, atmosphere. Yeah.
T-Rex and Rainforest Cafe is sort of a little bit like being in Disney without being in Disney because they
Right,
have the
right.
animatronics and
Right.
everything kind of crazy going on. You feel like you've stepped into a different environment.
Right.
So it's great for those reasons. It was a good choice.
But wouldn't you say, speaking from my travel agent hat here, that if you were going to go, like the time you went, either like before lunch, like typical lunch times, either go like before or after, which is what you did, and then you can be flexible and didn't have to worry about having a reservation. But if you're going to try to go at noon or 5 or 6 o'clock at night, it's a good idea to make a reservation.
Absolutely.
before
Actually,
you
her
go.
daughter forgot her sweatshirt there, so we went back later in the night. It was probably, it was dark. I don't remember exactly what
I
time.
think it was probably like 8.
And it was, we asked them, and it was an hour and 45-minute wait.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge difference where
So-
we had just walked in.
Yeah,
so
and you can't do an hour and 45-minute wait with kids, so
Yeah.
it's pretty much written off. So
they do have that little program that you.
I
what
did.
was
I
it?
signed up for the I'm a VIP, right? Rainforest Cafe, whatever their card is.
I want to see that card.
Yeah, so and that was actually a pretty good deal too. I think it was $25.
$25.
You got a $25 credit on that meal or the next meal, and then you get another $25 in the mail. So it really doesn't cost anything. So and then with that you get the priority seating
Priority
in the
seating
future.
every
so
time.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty good.
That
deal.
helps.
So we might go back to Rainforest Cafe.
Yeah.
Can you bring me along too? That'd be
Sure.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So then after we ate, we went ahead and hit the shopping. We had a few bumps in the road at this point, probably because this is probably the dividing gender issue here. We went from store to store to store, and how did you feel about that?
I mean, I'm not a shopper anyways. It's my least favorite thing. And even if I'm shopping for myself, it's the worst thing on the planet for me to do. But what's the new store that we were just talking about?
The Market
earlier?
Co-op.
The Market Co-op is awesome. I mean, that's like my store. You know, all the attraction stuff and the with the posters on the glasses and the plates, and it's really cool. I think they're going an awesome direction with some of that new merchandise. So that was great. You know, it's just I get tired of the same old Disney.
Mm-hmm.
You know, cheap T-shirts, and they just change the year on it every
Yeah.
year. You know, it's the same one.
Disney parks.
And I burn out on that quick. I burn out on the crowds, so it doesn't take me long to not want to be in there, especially when there's a Starbucks 50 feet away.
Yeah.
But no.
I get a little stir crazy. We have to go and know what we're looking for. I don't know if I can go shop hopping.
Right.
We have to go in, get what we want, but you know, Julie and the kids, they kind of want to stroll around,
Right.
and I kind of get a little stir crazy.
Right,
You know, being
right.
in a shop for too long.
Right.
So I end up probably on my phone or, you know, texting. I play a game called Ingress. I'm not going to describe the game to you, but I play a game called Ingress. It's like a virtual reality game, and downtown Disney is like a playground for that game because
Awesome.
every little place is a portal. So, you know, Julie's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "She's like, are you Ingressing again?" Yes, I am.
No, I'm shopping.
Yeah, I'm shopping. Yeah.
That is pretty much what happened when we were there. The one thing I had to go to Trendy. Trendy is my favorite store, so we went there, and the girls and I were all into it. Even the boys, they were kind of looking around and stuff. Scott hung out for a little bit, then eventually kind of stepped out of the store boundaries, and then we went to the next store. I think was that when we hit the co-op.
Yeah.
Market
that was
Co-op,
the next one. Yeah.
which was cool.
The girls did the makeup in the Trendy, right? Or was that the
Yeah,
Co-op?
so the girls and I got free makeovers in their beautifully Disney makeup counter section. So everybody, that is really great. It's kind of like a mini Bibbidi Bobbidi boutique. I mean, you don't get the princess touch to it, but we had a great time. They let you pick out the colors, and they have different palettes based on different things. Like there's a palette for the Festival of Fantasy Parade, actually, and then other things. So we all picked a different palette, and they do it all, and it's free. So you don't you can skip the $200 at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. You don't get your hair done and all that. But we had a great time. At that point, it actually wasn't a mom versus dad thing. It was a boys versus girl thing.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
The boys checked out. They were like, "We are out of here," and the guys went with Scott somewhere. They
We were
disappeared.
doing the cell phone case.
Yeah, so you were
okay.
right out
Next
the
door.
door.
Right around the corner. Yeah.
I can
so-
appreciate Trendy. I wish there was a male version.
Yeah,
I wish
I'm with
they had,
you.
I
I like
can walk
the-
through. I'm like, this is really cool stuff. It's awesome. It's like a little Disney. It's a Disney boutique. But I wish they had a men's version.
Right.
But I can't, stay in there. I
Yes.
mean,
Every time
I just know how
walk
much
in-
money I'm gonna
Right,
be spending.
right. Every
on
time I
jewelry.
walk in there at first glance, I think, oh, this is really cool. This is different stuff, a little bit more, hipper stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a really bad word, but. And then you get in and you realize, oh, it's all girls stuff, and then that's kind of when I check out. So.
Which-
I
which
will
you did.
say, coming from a single guy who's interested in girls, I like to go because I like to pick out gifts for girls. Especially, I have a gal pal that I like to shop for, and there's even though I don't wear these dresses or stuff like that, it's just kind of nice for me. I don't know. I'm just saying, it's just another viewpoint is that. It's nice to shop around with a girl with you to help pick out stuff for another girl. If that's what you're.
Oh, it's definitely a good store if
Yeah.
you want to buy gifts.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done that for Julie, where I know what I'm getting. I go in, I'm out. I
Right.
go walking around.
I never know.
Kill time.
I just browse. That's all I do. I always window shop and then.
Just know their size.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't.
Or get a purse.
Oh,
You're always good with a
works.
purse.
Right.
The home decor section of that store is kind of where we all kind of came together and we're all into it. The kids were into it. Scott was into it. I was into it. They have some really great merchandise there. Especially we got into the Haunted Mansion stuff was really cool.
Yeah, it's the first time I'd seen it. I heard a lot about it, but it's the first time I got to go in there and see it all, so it's really, really cool.
Vintage attractions. They have mugs and posters and dinnerware and Polynesian stuff, and that was really, really cool. But again, I think we had started to linger in the stores. It was getting, I guess, a little long. I felt like I was kind of losing you a little bit. Again, the texting was going on and all the things that you were saying. And then we hit World of Disney.
Oh, jeez. Then y'all went to that one?
Yeah.
Well, we did it.
Yeah, I'd rather have my fingers chopped off. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I should have started there maybe, or just, that's the merchandise that I'm talking about. It's just the same old over and over, and just crowded and bright and loud and just everything that I'm not into. So it's
no, I feel you.
I could have skipped that one.
Yeah, no, I lost him at that point. You could just see he kind of checked out. But I mean, the kids, they were looking at the plushes, and the kids love it, of course, because it's for all the reasons that he doesn't love it, or that boys don't love it. It's overstimulating and crowds and overwhelming. But we did that because that's the anchor store of downtown Disney, and everyone's going to go there.
And the boutique is in there.
The Bibbidi
which is
Bobbidi
something
Boutique.
that, I think if you're coming here once every 10 years and you have a little girl, you absolutely have to do it, just to look in there and see those little girls doing that stuff. And I did it with my daughter when she was littler. So it's so cool, but it's jam-packed.
It is packed.
I found that if I go when downtown Disney opens, around 10 o'clock in the morning, if I need feel the urge to go in and just browse, when they first open, there's hardly anybody in there. I hate that when you go later in the day and you're trying to get past everybody. Right. It's terrible. So if I'm going to do shopping, it's always early.
Right.
Yeah, we probably could have skipped that and been okay.
We could have, but I think it was important for us to go through there and just check it out. And like I said, check out the boutique and just see. The line was crazy. So I think they've hit a home run with that. But I think they almost need a separate location now for that. It's so busy.
Well, they're going to make that store bigger, so maybe they're going to make that bigger. But I know when
they definitely need to open the way of traffic.
Yeah, my granddaughters were here. If you go over to the desk and they're not really too busy, they'll come out and sprinkle little stuff on your hair. So even if you don't have an appointment, you could have a little pixie dust put in your hair or something.
They do. They have this whole little mini ceremony that they do for the little girls that come over, and they say some kind of pixie spell and sprinkle the glitter in, and that glitter stays in your hair for about 6 months. It does not come out.
It's hard to get off of a couch too.
Have you ever seen the little, I don't know if they still do it, but they have a little parade then later in the day with all the little girls that have done the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, and they're just strutting along, and they look so proud, and their family's there, and it's another one of those special little Disney touches. How cool is that?
Yeah, so it's very cool. And as a dad, I think that's something you gotta, like I said, if you have a little girl, you gotta do it. So at least once.
A question: do they have a pirate league down there too? Is it just the
Pirate League is in Adventureland?
Right, but do they have something like that?
I don't think so.
I don't think I've ever seen one.
No,
they don't.
Okay, all right. Again,
we brought Finley to the downtown Disney boutique.
Yeah, that's what we did too.
Maybe that expansion we were talking about, maybe that will feature something like that for the guys, because I know
that'd be nice.
I've seen a lot of kids with the smeared on beard and stuff like that in the park, so I know it's popular.
Yeah,
I know there's a lot of kids that would love to do that. So.
It's amazing how they do that too. You take this little kid that's sitting there, and they start off all antsy, and then as they start to groom them and do whatever, even girls or boys. And then all of a sudden the kid gets into it, and it's they sit perfectly still while they're putting the scar on them or fixing their hair. It's just amazing to watch.
Yeah. They start feeling the character.
Yes,
they start feeling
do.
like a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, from the dads chiming in, does Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique make it worth putting up with World of Disney?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
For sure, but like I said, that's a once in a...
Right, that's you were going there for a reason. Right. And I think shopping for me at Downtown Disney, I need to have a store that I'm going to,
right.
And I go, do what we're going to do, and then go. I just can't go from store to store to store. I see World of Disney, you come on vacation, you go to Downtown Disney, it's probably the first stop.
Right.
It's probably the first place you're going. and just skip everything else. You go to that store first and then kind of work your way around. But I think for me, World of Disney, I need to go in there for something. I'm just not going to go in and browse.
I think pretty much all of that merch in there you can get somewhere else on property too.
Or a Disney store,
right?
Anywhere,
Anywhere,
at your mall or something.
Yeah.
But a lot of times people, when they're in the parks or, they're there to ride the rides. I know when we would come to vacation, I purposefully wouldn't buy anything in the parks, and I would save a day to go to downtown Disney to buy the souvenirs, and it would be probably like, close to the last day that we were leaving. So I didn't want to be carrying it around the parks all the time. And because you can get it at downtown Disney, well, that's where you get it. And we just have a day set aside for that.
Right.
They used to have, I'm not sure if they still do, an annual pass discount or AAA discount if you go. And so we used to always go in there like one day and buy whatever all we needed instead of going to the individual stores.
Yeah, they do give a discount to annual pass
Yeah, I think it's
holders.
between 1 and 107 on the third Thursday. If you have red hair. Yeah.
Not to mention, World of Disney also has those gigantic Disney characters throughout the store, and that I like that. I personally like. I remember the first time I went there, when I came down here, the genie with the camera, he's just like this. For some reason, that really connected with me, and it helped me realize I'm here. Like this is Disney. I'm gonna be here for a bit. So.
Or when Stitch spits on you.
Yeah. Oh.
That happened to me while we were there. I didn't like it. It surprised me. I was like, what?
I was shopping in World of Disney one time, and I glanced over, and Janet Jackson was next to me.
What?
And I went, that's Janet Jackson. And, they had a cast member with them. And by the time I turned around to go get Katie to say, Janet Jackson and I were looking at the same thing, they had taken her into a back room. That was her time in World of Disney. But
that's not an everyday experience at downtown
I've never
Disney.
seen anybody famous since.
Oh my goodness. So, all right. So shopping, we.
Does she have action figures?
Yeah, I was gonna say, excluding this guy right here, right?
Just wondering.
Janet Jackson
Is this the
was
part
funny.
where I pull up the action figure? Okay. So after that, we hit the Lego store because we had little boys that wanted to go to the Lego store. And
Of course, yeah, that's another one you have to do if you have little boys. I think. I mean, even the girls, I think, had fun there.
Yeah, they did.
Building their own cars and racing them down the ramps. And
Did you go before they closed the sidewalk off, that now you have to come around the side of the World of Disney?
Yeah.
It's like a maze to get to
it
the
was.
Lego store?
It's a mess right there. Yeah, it's all walled off, and you walk in. I think you're going out in the parking lot maybe to get around the back of that now.
It is crazy there. You definitely feel like you're a rat in a maze at this point. I can't wait till this thing gets cleared out.
Once we got down there and we got into it, it almost felt a little weird doing this there right now, just because it is so chopped up and
You're in some
making all
kind
the
of
improvements. And,
Yeah.
but it was still cool to see. But definitely the Lego stores for the little boys, and that too was jam packed in the middle of the afternoon. So
Yeah, it was, and it was starting to get to be kind of a long day. We'd been shopping a while, and I think Scott was kind of done. He needed a Starbucks
So you got there
break.
at 1:30, and by the time you hit the Lego store, we're talking 9 p.m.
yeah, right.
Sounds like you did a
I think
lot.
maybe it was was it 4:30 or
That was
5?
probably right. Yeah, probably right
or-
around there. Yeah.
It was quite a lot. Scott needed to go to Starbucks at that point. He had a break.
Yeah.
And the kids started to get cranky. And I was, I don't know, I'm a girl. I was like, yeah, shopping, this is great. But it, for me as the mom, it started to maybe not be such a great experience because the kids were, especially mine, it seemed like they were hungry or they were thirsty or they wanted to sit down or, something. So I was kind of like, okay, I still kind of wanted to hit a few more stores, but, I think I had to throw up the white flag and surrender because nobody else seemed to be really enjoying themselves. So we kind of needed to have some downtime. Yeah, this is exactly what I was dealing
I've
with.
seen that face.
That face. We were done. We were done. So we needed to do something else. And somebody had contacted me on Instagram saying that this was, luck. You can't always count on this, but that Yeehaw Bob from Port Orleans, nonetheless, was performing at the House of Blues at that moment.
Outside,
yeah.
outside on the porch.
Oh, that's neat.
Not as Yeehaw Bob, though.
No,
as
he was
himself.
just Bob Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
it was
rock
really
star.
cool. Really cool.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it was
neat.
really cool to see.
Yeehaw Bob in ripped jeans and a tight V-neck, cotton tee. It was
And sunglasses.
sunglasses.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
doing
kind
rock
of
songs. It
doing
was really
rock
cool.
songs. He's a rock star on the side, guys.
Oh yeah, he does other stuff. I know for a while he was at Gaylord Palms and he would do a completely different act, but not. It was like more of an adult act.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's what this was almost like. It's really cool.
Well,
It
That's
was
neat,
cool.
though.
So we headed over to House of Blues and grabbed one of the tables on the patio and sat there, got some drinks, and just vegged for a while, which seemed to be like really needed. Phones were dying. We needed to recharge them. And like I said, you saw the face that was in the picture. Like we just needed to chill out for a while. And I think that really helped because we just, everyone needed to recharge and
Great timing.
it
Good
really
timing.
was. It really was. So I don't know if that's a regular thing where they have people that perform at the House of Blues in the afternoon.
Yeah,
or
I think they
early
do.
Afternoon.
Yeah, I know there's one woman who's there a lot. You know, when I've been down to go to the concerts at night, she's on the outside. And there's another guy that I've seen there too. So that's something that's really cool too. That doesn't cost any money.
Yeah.
You know, to go and sit there and watch them. So
Yeah, it's. I mean, we could have sat there and drank water. I felt as a server, I felt bad, so I ordered sodas, even though I didn't really want my kids to have soda, but just so that the waitress could have something. But she actually was running her tail off. I think she would have been really happy if we hadn't ordered anything and just took up a table. But that's something that can be done when you need downtime. Head over that way.
Like for us, like with our kids, they want to get out the stroller, and sometimes we'll let them walk,
Right.
walk through. But right now, with the crowd and the congestion, we don't want them, being somebody trampling over them. But they like to get out the stroller, and then we let them run right behind bongos and that whole Wolfgang Puck along the water.
Right.
So Julie will sit on one bench, I'll sit on the other, and they just run back and forth.
Yeah.
And we might have a drink in our hand.
It's really great. And then the new Starbucks is there. They've got that whole area behind it as well, again, on the water. So, yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Because apparently, women, you can't shop all day long. You have to give everyone a break. So, you have to have some kind of downtime to do something, give everyone a break from that. After that, we wanted to do an extra activity because downtown Disney has quite a few things that you can do besides shopping. There's Splitsville now, which is, the bowling alley.
Love it.
And then there's the movie theater. Then they've got Characters in Flight. That's the hot air balloon thing. And Disney Quest, which is, a separate ticket thing. I don't know that you want to do that in just a couple hours. You probably want to save about half a day for that.
That's a whole nother episode. I
Yeah,
feel like
that's
I'm
a-
talking about.
But it is
Yeah,
something,
another
if you
segment.
do want to
Yeah.
kill time and you don't mind spending the money on that ticket, that is something available there.
yeah. I have a tough time with Disney Quest. I feel like if I'm on vacation at Disney World, I don't really want to go play video games. But that's just me. I feel like I could do that at home. No matter where I lived. So. I don't know if I'd want to spend. It's pretty expensive, I think.
Yeah.
It
too,
is.
So
For what it is.
We have it included with our annual pass, but we never go.
you see, I was the same way. I had it, and I never really used it. I think if I was going to spend money, I would want to just put it into another day's ticket if I was here on vacation, rather than going there. But like I said, that's just me. But I think, like we both said, was like downtown Disney seems like a perfect either first day here. You fly in, you don't have a full day, you don't want to spend the money on a full day pass, or your last day before you
Exactly.
fly out. So I don't know if I would. For me, I don't know if I would take a day out of my trip to go down and spend the amount of time that we did. Maybe a few hours, but not the.
Yeah, that's a long time for
It was
sure.
a lot. It was a lot.
And doing this, we were trying to do a bunch of different stuff so we could talk about it. But I don't know if that's so much of a normal thing to spend that much time down there.
I also think the nightlife, hopefully will start coming back, and because that's a destination after the park, maybe.
Right,
Maybe
right.
the kids are, with the grandparents or something, and
Right.
mom and dad can head out.
What's the guy's
The
name?
didgeridoo
The didgeridoo
guy.
guy. I'm pretty sure I could do that. I think I'm going to try. Before it becomes Disney Springs, I'm going to take his job. I'm pretty sure. trying to think of something I can do after wrestling, and I'm pretty sure I could be the didgeridoo guy at Disney Springs.
Those nighttime entertainers that they have are pretty good. I feel like they've scaled back because of all the walls and everything. But yeah, they had the didgeridoo guy, and then they have those like electronic. instruments like the electronic violin and the electronic clarinet. You know, it's like a trio of
Right.
people.
I haven't seen that.
They're
Yeah.
really
I
fantastic.
think they needed that because out in Disneyland, when you see all that, it has a whole different atmosphere than
Right.
what we have here. So if they're adding more of that kind of stuff, that's good.
And I think that was one in the plans when they were talking about the whole Disney Springs, that there were going to be a lot more new entertainers. So it should be cool to see what they have.
Yeah, well, I think it's needed, and the kids love that stuff. I know my daughter Ellie, she looks for the didgeridoo guy every single time because she wants to. One time when we went out there, she was dancing to all of his songs, and so at the end, he gave her the title "Didgeridoo Downtown Disney Dancing Girl." Or, I don't know. It was a lot of D's.
He called me this. He called me the same thing.
So it's
yeah.
meaningless
Yeah.
then. Oh. But then he gave her a CD, so she's in love with him, and she looks for him every time. She always wants to dance to his songs, and it's again, it's another something a little bit different than just the shopping and just the eating. Eating. We had to eat again. So
That's a thing.
T-Rex.
Corey, don't you have to? Isn't that a
I
given?
get along the way. Can't wait for the
I can
food
shop
trucks.
or I can eat again. Let me see. Or the Starbucks. Let's see.
So we went to Cooks of Dublin,
Yes.
which
yeah.
was a new place for me.
I like
I'd never been there before.
Yeah. We had the fish and chip. I've been there quite a few times with the kids, but it's always seems like you can get in and out of there pretty quick, even at a busy time. So for me, I really like it. So it's tastes really good. I don't know how good it is for you. It's all fried fish,
Yeah,
and chicken,
it's pretty
and
greasy.
everything's fried there,
Yeah.
I think. So, but it's
Irish.
it's real good. So
Yeah, and all
With
the
the
kids
Guinness,
liked
it's
it.
really good.
I didn't
is
have
that
the
fried
Guinness.
too?
But no, I think I found like during the later part of the day, we just had to take things at a much slower pace. Everyone was kind of winding down. So doing things more like hitting the House of Blues, that was good. Going to the Cooks of Dublin, that was good. Kind of just walking around, eating slushies was good. Shopping was done. Shopping was out. We had enough of the shopping of the day. And then we did do the extra activity. We decided on Characters of Flight because neither of us had done that before.
Right, and we had to go back. We had tried to do it earlier, but it was windy.
Yes.
So we tried for a couple hours to get on that, and they had it closed. So I think it would have been a lot more fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got a little sick as it was, but yeah. So I guess that's another good tip. Like if you're planning on doing Characters in Flight, try to hit it earlier in the day because you may not actually be able to get to it, and you might have to just keep trying to go back. And they did do a really good thing. They gave us a phone number where we could just call and see what the update was rather than walking back 100 times.
Right.
That's convenient. That's
Right.
nice.
It was really good. And then so finally the weather died down enough right there at the end. Like we thought we were going to have to skip it and miss out on it, but it died down enough where we were able to get on. And
When we came out of the restaurant, the balloon was up in the air, so we knew
yeah.
it was running. So
That ended up being, I think, one of the best parts.
yeah, it was really cool. I can't remember how long it's been here, but I'd never done it. I've always
never
wanted to
done
do
it.
it. You can actually see it. I live in Claremont. You can actually see it from
Yeah.
Claremont up on the hills.
We
in
always say
Claremont,
that's
so-
our way to know where downtown Disney is because
Yeah.
you can see the balloon
Yeah.
from so far.
Yeah.
You
So
can't
it
pay
was-
me to go on there though. I will not go.
Oh,
on
I think
that.
that'd be cool.
I'm
was
afraid
really
of
cool.
heights. You'll be okay. I was okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, because like I'm not afraid of heights. I'm just really afraid of falling. That's really the
Falling really
fear.
fast.
Falling really fast. It's the stop that really
Yeah.
I'm afraid of.
There's lots
But-
of nuts everywhere. You can't fall out. Probably, I think, in my opinion, the roughest part of it was there was still enough wind where we were blowing back and forth like this. And so everyone else was having a really great time, and I was just kind of like, hey, guys. Trying, not to feel sick. When we did finally get down to the bottom, I had to hit Starbucks again because I needed to put something in my stomach. I was not feeling that great, but kids loved it. And, I mean, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, no, I really liked it. Yeah, I was glad I finally got to do it. So it was cool.
There's a beautiful view from up there, especially if you're able to go at night. Just the lights are, it's just really, really pretty, and you can see everything.
It's funny. You can see Spaceship Earth, but you can't see the castle. So it's kind of, you'd think you'd be able to see that from anywhere, but I
Guess if
it's
you
the way
time
it
it around
sits.
fireworks, it'd be neat too.
Yeah,
That would be
right.
great.
Right.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Found my
But-
other date opportunity now instead of
Yeah.
There you go.
Forest Cafe, right?
There you go, Sean Michael.
One thing our kids always love, and it's hard like walking around the marketplace and trying to walk around the carousel and the little train in the middle.
Right.
They love that. I mean, they're 4 and
Right.
5, of course they
Right.
do. So we try to like scoot around, you know, just cut through shops and loop around so
Yeah.
they don't see it. They see it.
Hey, I have a 9-year-old, and she was still kind of like, "Hey, I want to go on the little train." I was like, "I'm not paying $2
Right.
for
I know,
you
I
to ride
guess
around
it's-
that track 2 times."
I think about that. I think.
So I thought it was just me. But I do the same thing. Like, no, we have annual passes
We have
to go
annual
on the
passes.
cool one at Magic Kingdom. You guys don't ever want to do that, but you want to do the one that costs money now.
There's a bigger train there.
Yeah.
There's a bigger carousel.
Right?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of like how our day went, the experience of it. But so, what was the overall experience for you as a dad?
Oh, I love it. Like, I mean, there's so many cool things outside of shopping. Like, I have no interest at all in the shopping and just looking for something to buy. Like, I hate that part. But I mean, like the boutique, the Bibbidi Boutique, and the House of Blues, the Starbucks. There's enough to do down there, and something we didn't even get to do, which is one of my favorite stores at Disney World, is the Art of Disney. So many. I mean, I think also there too, they've gone in such a direction with, you know, attraction prints and stuff. There's so many cool things to see in there. So just to look around, not even to buy anything. But,
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff is so. I mean,
I love that store.
$30,000 I think stuff now. So I bought 2 the other day, but.
Kevin John would be so proud.
Yeah, no. It's so there's enough to do without. It's not just shopping. So like I said, if you're flying in and you have half a day, or you're flying out and you have the half a day, and you don't want to spend the money on a park ticket, it's definitely something to do. It's very cool.
Yeah, from a woman's perspective, mom's perspective, I loved it. I felt like it was a really great day overall. The kids in general had a really good time. I felt like I was able to interact with them a lot, and we had some, really good meals together. So overall, it was good. Just we hit that rough spot in the middle with the shopping and, kids getting cranky. But, I mean, that's going to happen when you hit that time of the day anyway. But overall, it was pretty good. I wanted to say, what did you think would make the experience better?
What's so hard to
For
say
males,
right now? For
for dads.
More Starbucks, I guess.
More Starbucks.
Scott likes Starbucks.
Or if anything, probably just more stores, right? More stores geared towards guys.
Yeah, more like Corey said with.
Trendy.
Trendy.
Like if there was
Yeah.
a male version of that, would be cool.
Right.
I do like D Street.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We
Maybe
were going to
maybe
hit
some-
D Street. We didn't make it.
Yeah,
Because
right.
we were just done with shopping.
Maybe some more counter service type places where you don't want to go in and sit down. I think maybe that's what the food trucks are
Yeah, I
supposed to
think
be
that's
doing.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother. The food trucks thing's a whole nother.
But
weird
don't you
phenomenon.
think your experience probably would have been better if they didn't have all the walls and people were crowded in?
For sure.
This was
And-
sort of, I feel it's like you're going into battle almost.
Right,
going
for
to
sure, and
downtown
that's why I'm
Disney
saying it's not
lately.
really a fair look at the whole thing right now with the way it is. But even the way it is right now, it was still something to do on an off day.
Yeah.
So.
I think for me, what would have made the experience better would be as if we had actually split up during the shopping part, rather than making Scott or the boys who don't want to go to the makeup counter or whatever it is. If we had kind of decided in general as a group just to part ways at that point, that might have been better, because I had a great time with the girls shopping. They were into it. We were having a good time. I think maybe if we had let the boys go to House of Blues ahead of us or do whatever it was that they wanted, that might have helped to avoid the kind of bumps in the road in the day, made it a little bit of a more smooth experience.
I try to break off here and there. Like if they're in the shop, I'll say, "Look, I'm going to the margarita bar. Do you
Right.
want anything?"
I'll be there for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Just maybe agree to part at certain times for certain activities. Might have just made things go a little bit smoother. I think that would have probably been a good thing. Would
Yeah, I
have
mean
made
it's
it
a
better.
big group too. There
You're
were,
right.
Is it 7 of us?
7 of us. So that's a
7
big
of
group
us.
and such a crowded place. So it probably would have been a good idea to split up for a little bit.
What did the kids think when it was all said and done? Did they
They
have a
loved
good
it.
time?
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
had a
really
great
liked
time.
They really liked the balloon, they said. So
Okay.
Yeah, and they, we go to downtown Disney where there's all of this merchandise. This is supposed to be the shopping mecca of Disney, right? And then, I gave my kids a certain amount of money that they could spend to find the souvenir that they wanted, and they went back to Rainforest Cafe. At the end of the day, that is where they wanted to buy their gift from, was Rainforest Cafe. They wanted that little animal hat that you saw in the picture earlier and some plush animals, which I thought was interesting. But no, they did. They had a good time.
That's good.
Yeah, we made a stop at T-Rex. We forgot about that. We made a stop at T-Rex. This was kind of when the kids were getting a little bit cranky, and we had just finished the Disney, the shopping, and needed to figure out what to do next. I needed a new game plan. And so we stopped there. They have a little digging pit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think it's only supposed to be for the people who are eating there, but we went in because I went to go ask, and they didn't have any problems with the kids just coming in. And so that was another thing we did for downtime. We just kind of hung out there, and Scott's little boy was digging up dinosaur bones for a while, and they just, that was another a fun thing that we did. But all right, so my last question that I wanted us to go over was, what aspects did you think made this worth doing?
Definitely the balloon. Definitely the I think I mean I love live music, so that House of Blues. I mean, and the fact that it's free is pretty cool. Something free at Disney is pretty cool. So just to be able to go down there and do that. I knew what to expect from Rainforest and the prices there, and I knew what to expect from the stores and the shopping, but like I would never, living here for 11 years and coming here for the last 40-something years. I'd never done like the House of Blues, the live thing. So definitely that stuff. And I keep going back to the boutique, but I'm just starting to think as a dad, and you have a little girl. I know it's expensive, but you got to do it. It's so cool. It's such a once in a lifetime thing for them to do, and to see your little girl dressed up like that, you just want to bawl, so it's that's a pretty cool thing. So if you're going to spend the money, if you want to spend money at downtown Disney, I say skip the Disney Quest and skip that stuff and do the boutique. That's very cool.
Yeah, for me, what made it worthwhile was, I think, just being with everyone. The kids really, like I said, got into the shopping, and I felt like I got a lot of time to interact and talk with them. When I'm in the parks with my kids, I'm very much, go, 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 go. We have an agenda. It's this, then this, and this, and this. And I think I spend more time kind of running the show and pushing everyone along.
It's hard to believe.
Stop it right now. But this, I felt like I was a little bit more, it was just more leisurely strolling along. We didn't necessarily have an agenda because there's not a lot of attractions that you need to get to. So it provided, for a really nice day. And I found when I just kind of relinquished control to everyone else to decide what they wanted to do, better decisions were made rather than me being the one, this is what we're doing and sticking to it. Occasionally other people have better ideas. And, it was, I think overall it was a good thing. Like I said, definitely some gender issues here, but we were fine.
Yeah, no, it was a good time. It really was. So.
You were mentioning about how you are in the parks, how you have that strict deadline. I was going to say, I don't think you're the only one, because my mom does the same thing too. I don't know if you remember, I said this last week or a couple weeks ago, where my mom was my fast pass, where she would wait in the next line because she wanted to make sure that we got to do everything. But my dad, he's very relaxed, very chill. He doesn't mind waiting. I remember he would always put me up on his shoulders and we would just relax. Dad and I would just chill. And that was the dichotomy. Was mom was very, let's do this, go, go, go. And dad was very, let's just go at our own pace kind of thing.
It's called neurotic Disney mom syndrome.
Oh, there's a name for it.
Yes.
I have named it. I live it.
She's got a book.
I am the embodiment of it. So this was a little bit different, and I think it was really good. Yeah. Definitely something I think that people should do. It'll be better when this mess is cleaned up. It's a little bit hairy right now.
Yeah, it's It's a mess for sure, but I think it's going to be awesome. If it's half of what California is, it'll be really cool because I really like it out there. It's totally different
I
feel in
agree.
California than it is here.
I think it will. I think it's going to be incredible once it's done.
All right, well, that's going to do it for our show this week, and we hope that you enjoyed it. We'll see you again next time with another edition of the Diz Unplugged. Thanks for joining us, everyone. And remember, for your own personal safety, please avoid all natural bodies of water.